In episode 4, as you can imagine, our boy Dream is struggling after getting dumped by Nada. I mean, he is going through it. His kingdom is raining cats and dogs. It looks like he has been listening to nothing but My Chemical Romance, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, track 5, If You Know, You Know. Lucienne ends up coming out and asking him, hey, it seems like Nada left. What do you want me to do with the rooms that you prepared for? And he just tells her, get rid of them. And do me a favor, make sure the staff doesn't even mention her name around me. But when Lucienne turns around to do that, he asks her, do you think I'm capable of love? Before Lucienne can even answer, though, Matthew shows up and lets him know that they have a problem. They have an intruder at the gate. The intruder, though, is Delirium. She's shown up uninvited. She's shown up to ask him a question, and it's pretty obvious right away that Morpheus wants nothing to do with this. He doesn't want to deal with visitors at the moment. But Delirium is different. She's fragile. And the last few times that she's called upon him, he hasn't answered, so she just showed up. Because of that, he invites her in and he wants to hear her out. She, however, can tell that he's in a bad mood, and he tells her, it's not you, I've just been going through a lot. I'm really sorry if I was mean. And the fact that he apologized means a lot to her. He then asks her, okay, so why did you come here? And she tells him she wants to go find their missing brother, Destruction. She's been going over scenarios in her head, and she knows that he left on his own accord, but that was so long ago, he might be in a situation where he's embarrassed to come back. She just wants to find out. She starts going over some other scenarios, like maybe he was kidnapped, just like Dream, or he's got amnesia, and finally Dream cuts her off and says, he abandoned us. He abandoned his realm. He abandoned his responsibilities. It was an act of profound selfishness, and it's something I'll never understand or forgive. Still, though, Delirium wants to know why he did those things, and she asks Dream, will you help me find him? Dream, however, says no. Our brother made his choice, and we have to respect that. And she says, Despair said the exact same thing. And the fact that she already asked Despair comes as a surprise to Dream. Delirium tells him that Despair said that she wanted help, and Despair also said that Dream wanted help. He then asks her, I'm going to assume you asked Desire? And she tells him that she actually thought of this idea in Desire's realm. Because of this, he wants to go have a word with Desire, so he calls upon them. And Desire is not surprised at all that Delirium showed up uninvited in Dream's kingdom. Nothing about Delirium's plan comes as a surprise to Desire, and Dream assumes it's because Desire put her up to it. He still blames Desire for everything that happened with Nada. But Desire says, no, actually, believe it or not, I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with this or Nada for that matter. Believe it or not, she showed up at my realm uninvited, in a flood of tears saying that if we could just find our big brother, everything would be okay. And Dream actually says she's not wrong about that. If she feels like things are broken, it's because they are. And our brother broke them. Desire says, okay, good. I mean, you had me worried for a second that you were going to use this as an excuse to go look for Nada. And that's something that Dream hadn't even considered. But now that that seed is in his head, he's running with it. After saying goodbye to Desire, he goes back to Delirium, and he asks her, okay, well, if we were going to find our older brother, how exactly would you go about it? And she's thought this out a little bit. She's written down every single name that she could think of who was an associate of her brother that might be still alive. All of these people are in the waking world. And it's only 3 of them. She's got them written down on an envelope, so they really just have to find them. And Dream's willing to go, but he's really only willing to go because it is, in fact, an excuse to try to go find Nada. Of course, he doesn't tell his sister any of this. When they go to leave, even Lucienne asks him, why exactly are you doing this? And he comes up with an excuse about, well, I'm going to respect my brother's wishes about privacy, but my sister really needs it. And it's been a while since I've been in the waking world. But Lucienne sees right through it. She reminds him, oh, you know who else is in the waking world? Yeah, that woman that you were obsessed with. I mean, what are you exactly hoping happens? You just happen to run into her? I mean, why don't you just go find her in her dreams? But he says, no, that would be inappropriate. Perhaps fate will reunite us. And she gives sage advice when she tells him, yeah, that's not going to seem like fate to Nada. It's going to seem like stalking. Dream, however, doesn't think it's a big deal. And he and Delirium head out, and the first place they stop is New York City. In order to go on this little quest, they're going to need transportation. But as they're walking to the car rental place, Dream gets distracted. He sees a woman that he thinks looks like Nada. He runs up to her, but it turns out it's just a woman that looks like Nada. It's not Nada. They then head to Farrell's Transportation. It's run by a guy that used to be a god named Lord Pharamond, but his resources were dwindling, and Dream told him, you might want to get a day job, and this is his day job. But they're not greeted by Farrell. They're greeted by a woman named Wanda who will be driving them around. And the first place they're going to head is the home of an old lawyer. But when they get there, the lawyer isn't there. It's his son. And his son is depressed. When Dream asks to see his dad, he lets Dream know, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we just got a word. Our dad passed away in a freak accident. Their dad was killed at a construction site when something fell on top of him. And for Dream, he doesn't think this is a coincidence. He feels like it's a sign that they probably should stop the search. But for Delirium, she does feel like it's a coincidence, and she wants to go to the second person on her list, which is the dancing woman. Wanda tells him that the dancing woman's located in Philadelphia. I'm a little hurt because I live here, and they didn't even hit me up. We could have hung out. Before they actually go to the club where the dancing woman works, they stop off and have a drink. It's at the bar where Wanda, Dream, and Desire end up getting to know each other a little bit, and they learn a lot about Wanda. She, too, grew up with siblings, but she also grew up with very, very conservative parents. Conservative parents that didn't really know what to do with her, because Wanda is trans. So when Wanda started taking hormones, she eventually just had to leave the house. She left a note, but she hasn't seen her family in years. So she really does get the whole plight of having family, but never seeing them. And the fact is, she misses her family. They then finish up the drinks and they head on over to the strip club where the dancing woman is located. When they get there, she is on stage, but when she sees Dream, it throws off her routine completely. I mean, she heads to the back, and Dream goes after her. These two have a history. Her name is Ishtar, and she was the god of sex and war. These days, however, she's known as Chocolate Thunder, and she's on the main stage on Friday nights. Except, though, when Dream comes in. It's in the dressing room that she reminds Dream, oh, it's been a while. It's been like 2,000 years since I've seen you. I mean, the last time I saw you, I was seeing your brother, and you were telling him that I wasn't good enough for him, and then he followed that advice, and he dumped me. She then really cuts Dream to the core by telling him, you know, your brother told me he felt sorry for you because he felt like you were never going to know love. And considering what Dream has gone through in the last day or two, yeah, no, that doesn't feel good. He then, though, gets to the reason why they showed up and says, have you seen our brother? She says, no, I haven't seen him in centuries. But he also came with a warning. Because he doesn't think what happened to that lawyer was a coincidence. He wants to warn Ishtar, hey, by the way, the people we're looking for, well, at least the one guy, he showed up dead. So you may be in danger. She stands up and asks, what did I do to make you hate me? I mean, to wish me dead. And he tries to tell her, I don't hate you and I don't want you dead, but that's not the way she sees it. She sees it as him showing up is essentially sentencing her to death. He reminds her, though, that they don't know that officially, but they both have a hunch that, yeah, it's not a coincidence. She then gets ready to go back on stage, only this time she's going to dance. She's really going to dance. She's going to dance like nobody's watching. And Morpheus, he wants to get his group and get the hell out of there before she hits the stage. So he rushes out, he finds Delirium, he finds one, and he says, no, we got to go. She doesn't know where our brother is. But then Ishtar hits the stage, and all eyes are on her. Now, look, honestly, her moves didn't really do it for me, but it did it for every single person in that club. They cannot take their eyeballs off the stage. And it's only Dream that notices that the club is on fire. And what's worse is the fact that gas is leaking into the club. So he frantically tells both his sister and Wanda, run right now, but it's too late. The club explodes, and every mortal in there, including Wanda, dies. Dream stands up and tells his sister, we have to stop looking for our brother. But Delirium doesn't want to. There's only one person left on her envelope, but Dream is insistent. And that's when Desire shows up, because this strip club was a little part of his realm. And he's pissed, because now a little part of his realm is destroyed. And he's got two people to blame, and they're both related to him. Now, immediately, Dream pushes back on this and says, you can't blame us for this. But he says, oh, no, I absolutely can. because our brother warned us not to come looking for him. In fact, I warned you not to go looking for him, and look what you did. You went looking for him, people are ending up dead, and now a little part of my realm has been destroyed, all because of you. Delirium stands up for Dream and says, no, it wasn't him. He was trying to help me, but Desire says no. No, he never planned on helping you. No, he was going after Nada. He was never looking for our brother. And Dream has to admit it. And this really, really hurts Delirium. She feels stupid in that moment. She feels like she was played. She felt like her brother actually had her back, but now she realizes, no, not at all. And she's pissed at both of them. She gets so upset that she tells them, I'm going to go back to my realm, but you two are not invited there. And she leaves. She leaves both Dream and Desire in the room together to hash it out. Even though he doesn't want to hear it, Desire gives Dream a lecture and then some. And at the end of it, he tells him, I am done with you. So, where is Destruction in all of this? Well, he's in the countryside with his dog, who talks. And he had an idea that his family was searching for him, because in his garage, he's got something called a scrying pool, which is a sort of warning. So he was on alert.
Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry. It'll be up in a day or